everybody, this is Tony with Kate's Crafty Closet with a fun, easy Halloween card to show you all today. So here is our Halloween card, inside and out. So let's go ahead and get started with that. So the first thing I went ahead and did is I cut down a standard A2 size top folding card, which is measured 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. So we'll put that to the side, and hopefully we don't lose that in the midst of this shooting this video. And then I went ahead and used this mod stitched rectangle from My Favorite Things, and I went ahead and cut that out of some black 110 pound black cardstock, as well as the card base is the same thing as 110. And then after that I cut, you're gonna need 2 stitched rectangle from MFT. This is the largest one in the set, and I cut 2 of these out of some Fun Stamper's Journey. This is a Grape Fusion paper. So we got that. So let's go ahead and get our stamp out. Today we're going to be using this Tim Holtz Stampers Anonymous stamp set. This is called Skulls and Cobwebs, so we're going to be using the cobweb. I'm going to leave it on the backing. There's no reason for me to have to take it off. So with that being said, we're going to go ahead and grab some embossing ink. Whatever embossing ink that you may have on hand will work perfectly fine with this, whether it be Watermark or any kind of clear embossing ink. So today I'm going to be using my Juicy ink pad from Inkland 3, and I'm just going to go ahead and apply it to our stamp. I'm going to go over the whole stamp. Alright, and I'm going to probably go over it twice just to make sure I get good coverage. And okay, so we got that. That looks pretty good to me. So then I'm going to go ahead and take that black piece, the mod stitched rectangle, and I'm just going to make sure the stitch marks are on the top side, and I'm going to carefully lay this onto the stamp. And it looks like I missed a little bit, but that's okay. We're not going to really stress about that. Off the side, if you want to use a stamping tool, you most certainly can. I'm just going to use my hands and apply pressure so it'll transfer to this paper. So now that we got that done, we're going to pull out some silver PanPastels as well as a brush. If you have a makeup brush, that works perfectly. This is just semi-soft bristle paint brush that I'm going to be using. So take that into consideration. Okay, so we're going to grab that, and I'm just going to grab some of that PanPastel with that paintbrush. And if you want to dust some of it off, you can, but it's not necessarily required to do that. And then you're just going to apply it, and wherever the sticky embossing powder is at on your cardstock, the PanPastel will pick that up. And just keep applying until you're done. I think you go over it and you get a more saturated effect. You do lightly, you'll get like a light, more muted. So that depends on the look that you want to go for. So I'm just gonna, so now our spider web is taking shape here. And PanPastels, they come in so many different colors. So if you something that you like to do and use these, you can certainly buy a whole bunch of, you know, different colors in that, and from that aspect. And I usually just dust this off a little bit, so then I can go in, and if there's any excess powder that may have gotten onto the actual cardstock, and just dust it off. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and clean up the area so I don't transfer the PanPastel into other parts of the project. So now that we got this done, we're going to go ahead and grab one of those Grape Fusion panels from Fun Stamper's Journey, and we're going to glue those together, just so we have a little bit of that purple showing through my glue. I kind of, on the side there, it went all over the place. So this is just some art glitter glue. I'm just going to put that on there. And these, they're the same size, so you can just kind of put them on there. And the only thing that's going to show is where the rounded corner edges are. And I want my spider web to be at the top area. So that's what we're going to do. And I just tap it to make sure that on two sides and make sure it's kind of perfectly aligned. So there you go. We now have the two purple sides that are showing up on there. So I'm going to put that to the side for a second, and then we're going to come in with our card base, and I'm just going to go ahead while I'm here is to apply this Grape Fusion stitched rectangle die cut and for the inside of our card, so we can leave a message or a greeting, and you know, you can stamp an image in there if you want. I'm just going to leave it blank. Apply that down. So now that we got that, and then we're going to go ahead and put some that's the glue I got from over there, but that's okay. We're going to put some foam squares to give this card a little bit of the dimension on the back. And these are just ones that I always pick up from the Dollar Tree when I see them in stock, because they're not always available. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and continue with that. And just for today's video, I'm not going to peel off the back end and glue it to the front of the card, because sometimes it becomes a little bit of a process, but that's okay. So the next thing I'm going to come in and do is, like, I cut also with some of the Grape Fusion cardstock. This is like a fishtail banner stitched from MFT, and so I cut those out, which ones are giving me these strips. And then I have the stamp set from Tailored Expressions, the mini sentiment strips. Comes with stamps and dies. You can do a whole bunch of stamping and die cutting at the same time with a bunch of sentiment phrases. This happens to be the Halloween set, and one of them is called Happy Haunting. I just stamped it and heat embossed it with white embossing powder, and die cut them out, and I have a stash of them that I made a while back. So I'm just going to go ahead, put art glitter glue onto the back of that, and do my best to line up that sentiment as centered as I possibly can. Okay, and then make sure I get that excess glue up. Art glitter glue does dry clear, so I'm not going to stress that out. So there we got that. Then we're going to put some more art glitter glue onto the Grape Fusion piece, and we're going to put our sentiment onto the front of our card panel here. It's like you can put it wherever you want. I'm kind of going to go down here, do my best to line it up, and if it's not, I'm okay with that. So boom, we have our sentiment now. And then we're going to go ahead. I have these little spiders. These were actually those little rings that you can give out for Halloween trick-or-treating. So I just went ahead and cut the ring part of it off. So you can get these at, you know, pretty much anywhere. These I pretty much got at the Dollar Tree. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take some of that art glitter glue again, and it worked, and it holds great. It just got to let it dry. It takes a little while it dries. I'm just going to put it on the body part because it's raised up from the rest, and I'm going to put that into the center of our spider web and give it a little bit of pressure. So then I would peel off the release paper off the back, and then I would put a little bit more art glitter glue on there to give a little bit of wiggle room, and I would apply that to the front of our card. And this completes our card for today. So I now have two nice, cool little Halloween cards for the upcoming festivities. So I thank you again for joining me today. Like I said, all of the products that I use today will be listed in the description box below, so you can go do some shopping if you want to. So everybody, y'all have a crafty day, y'all.